We've been getting a lot of questions just about RVing, our life, how we do this, why we do this, how long we're gonna do this. So we thought we'd take some time to answer those questions.
If you guys are new here, I'm Mike.
I'm Stephanie.
We're Life Rerouted. We're a travel nurse couple from Indiana. We've been traveling the country since 2016.
We've been living in our camper for a little over 3 years now, and we still get a lot of questions about it.
A lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
So the top question we probably get is, how do you make money on the road?
That one's pretty straightforward. I'm an ICU travel nurse, and basically that means we travel all over the country finding hospitals that have needs in their ICU. It could be short staff or maternity leave. Regardless, they need an extra person in there quick. So I generally make a little bit more money than a bedside nurse, so Mike was able to quit his job, and that's what we do.
So Steph's a travel nurse, and that leads us into our second, probably most frequently asked question, which is, what does Mike do?
What do you do?
What do I do?
What do you do?
Well, I do all the videos on the channel. I'm a stay-at-home husband, so I do a lot of the house chores and all that stuff. And I'm basically a trophy husband.
Yeah. He's also a dog dad. We have a dog. Another frequently asked question is, do you guys have kids? No.
No kids.
No kids.
No plans to have kids.
We have a doggo. Her name is Callie. We may be a little bit obsessed, but Mike has his hands full with her a lot of times too.
We're in Indiana right now, and for those of you who have been following along, if you're wondering, Callie is in heaven right now. She's loving being on Steph's parents' farm, running around, chasing the cows, and doing all the stuff that dogs enjoy doing. So we live in a 29-foot travel trailer, and a question we get a lot is, how do you get along in such a small space? Spoiler alert, we don't always get along.
Like any couple in any space, you're not always gonna get along. So we've learned some tricks over the years and really just kind of adapted into living in small spaces for 5 years and a camper for 3. And an important one is give each other space. It doesn't always mean physical space, but I can be sitting on the couch reading a book and Mike can be sitting at the desk doing something else. We don't have to talk to each other. Another very frequently asked question, and one that I was very concerned about before we started traveling, was what do you do for insurance? I am employed full-time as a travel nurse, so as long as I'm working as a travel nurse, my company has insurance that I pay for. Now I had Mike on it for the first couple of years, but it was very expensive.
Super expensive.
So I actually kicked him off of mine a couple of years ago. Sorry, babe. And he actually has insurance through a health share. So basically he pays money into it every month, and if something does happen, he turns his bills into that health share and they will cover it up to a certain percent. As far as the camper is concerned, we just have Geico. It covers us living in it completely, 365 days a year, it's covered.
People have asked if we would recommend the insurance that we have, and honestly, we haven't had to use it yet.
Don't say it, don't say it.
So I don't know if we can fully recommend it. It has been convenient for Geico to have the app and stuff like that if we need to pay for it or have any questions. But I really don't know if we can really recommend the insurance that we have because, like I say, we haven't had to use it yet. Mail call! How do we get mail on the road? I know there are mail services that they'll go through your mail and sort them, but we have a legal address here actually. We're living with her parents, and her parents actually are our mail sorters. And if we need something mailed to us, they will send it to us, but usually it's junk mail and everything's electronic now anyway, so we usually don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, most everything we've changed to online. There are a couple important things that come in the mail, a lot of junk mail still that we can't seem to get rid of. So the important stuff, my parents let us know and say, do you need this? Do you need to just scan it? Pretty easy. But if you don't have awesome parents, because thank you parents for doing that for us, there are a lot of services out there that you can use that will actually do that exact same thing for you. Another question that we really worried about at the beginning of full-time RVing, and now it's just kind of second nature, is where do you stay at in the camper and how do you find those spots?
We're able to stay at campgrounds for the most part longer term. We pay monthly stays. Steph's contracts are usually 3 months, and we're able to stay at a lot of RV parks that have a monthly rate, so we usually do that. So that covers where we stay at with the camper. A lot of people want to know, how much does it cost to stay at those places with the camper? And we stay at places on a monthly rate, so we're kind of going off of that. I think we looked it up, and the average mortgage payment is around $1,600 a month. Of course, that could be a lot for some people and a little for others. So it's the same thing with a camper. We've paid as little as like $400 a month, and we've paid all the way up to $1,200 a month, I think it was, in California, plus utilities. Yeah. So it really varies, but I would say an average stay is between $600 and $800 a month, something like that, usually plus electric.
Location, location, location. So our mortgage payment when we used to have a house was $400 a month. I know, don't hate us.
But we live in West Central Indiana, yeah, and the cost of living is way lower here anyway, so you know that's very little. So compared to living in a camper, I guess living in a camper is a lot cheaper.
For us it is. We actually, as a travel nurse, we traveled for 2 years without the camper, so we were paying like $1,200 to $1,400 a month in rent and getting nothing for it. Now, even if we have to pay that much, or with the camper payment on top of it, we have this is our home that we get to keep at the end of all that. So all that being said, living in a camper we think is cheaper, honestly, but it can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be.
So we've been living in the camper for 3 years, and one of our top questions that we get all the time is, where has your favorite place been? That is a loaded question.
It kind of goes into different categories for us because most of the places we've been are with me as a travel nurse. So I associate the place with my job, and so if I don't really like the job, I don't really like the place that much. So favorite assignment hospital-wise for me, I never have a good answer. I've been fortunate enough to work with some great people all across the country, so I don't have a favorite. But favorite like long-term location?
Greenville, South Carolina. For me,
I really like Greenville too, yeah. Honestly. It's probably our favorite. Close to the mountains, close to the beach. We made some incredible friends out there, and it's just like a big city, small town feel, kind of.
But as far as the camper is concerned, probably out west. We really enjoy taking the camper. There's lots of boondocking opportunities, lots of stuff to see, all the hiking and all the stuff that we enjoy doing.
We actually a couple months ago got to boondock in Wyoming. We'll put the video up here, but that's probably been one of my favorite spots to date.
That one snuck up on us, yep, and really surprised us. So
that being said, take a chance on some place you don't think you're ever going to go or never heard of, because it might be the best place you've ever been.
So we have the camper and we have our truck. We have a 2017 Dodge Ram EcoDiesel, and it's probably our top question is, how does the truck do towing the camper? It does a good job. We bought the truck and we wanted to get a camper that was well within the numbers, so we decided that we wanted a truck that was a good daily driver. So with it we get, what, 26 or 27 miles to the gallon as a daily driver, towing the camper between 11 miles per gallon. We've got all the way up to 13 and all the way down to 9. So between 9 and 13 miles per gallon pulling the camper. It's done a good job for us. Basically,
at the end of the day, you have to get what's best for you and your family to be safe and comfortable.
We love getting emails and messages and comments from people saying, hey, I just bought an RV. Do you guys have any advice for first-time RVers? My biggest thing that I say is just to go. Take your new camper, go camp at a state park somewhere or try a Harvest Host. Just take your camper and go and work out all the kinks and try to figure out how everything works. But my biggest advice is just to go do it.
Honestly, along the same lines, like if it's something you've wanted to do for so long and you're just scared because of all the numbers or what all goes into it, I am very much a planner, type A, worry about everything. And that's my biggest piece of advice, is just try it, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? There's a lot of bad things that can happen.
A lot of bad things can happen.
You might learn that you absolutely love it and have these amazing experiences with your family that nothing else will even compare to. These incredible adventures and the people that you meet in this community. It's just incredible. I hope that answered some of you guys' questions. Let us know if you have more down below. We love answering questions. We're not experts by any means, but we do have a lot of experience to share with you guys, and we love sharing stuff with you guys.
If you guys are new here, make sure you subscribe down below. Just hit the subscribe button so you can follow along with our little adventure.
Just click down there.
Click it. Just give it the little click.
Just a little click.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Those big things of chicken.
Those big things of chicken.
It's like boy band lean.
If you guys are new here, I'm Mike.
I forgot my line. You lost! So aggressive. We don't know what we're doing.
Grab a box of popcorn. We're gonna sit down and answer these things.
I want to sit down.
Click the subscribe button.
Would you like some mutton with your Dutton button?
By the power of the Force. I don't know why I keep doing
You
it.
keep doing it. Bigger chicken.
Just go camp.